I was trying out for my team and for the school team at my
Yeah.
university, and they host a little, and I didn't make it, and I'm like, okay, I need to get better, so I just wanted to look out for resources, and in the meantime, I had played an Overwatch tournament with my friends, and we got kind of steamrolled, and yeah, just looking how to be a better player.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now I have to ask, what led to the break? Because obviously that's kind of be kind of important when it comes to like factoring in like what we're going to get out of the session.
Oh, the new season of Destiny dropped, and I wanted to try the new Destiny
Ah.
content, and I've just
Okay.
been playing that the whole time.
So nothing particularly negative, just something else
Nothing in particular.
positive.
Um,
Yeah.
it was a little bit like I play Lucio, and I'm like, oh, they turned out why they buff Boop and turned out Lucio damage. That made me a little annoyed, so I took like that was part of it, but like not really a big deal. Like his poke
Okay.
is crazy, so I respect it.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So Diamond, at least at the time of the form,
Yep.
Lucio OTP essentially. And looking at your form here, I hope to get a better understanding of the game and being able to read the situation in game to contribute the most to my team. So just like being able to look at the situation and go, what should I be doing? Where should I be? Putting yourself in that spot and doing the best that you can.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
sounds
right
good.
now I'm pretty good mechanically, even if I'm rusting these clips, but I'm completely brain dead when it comes to game sense.
Okay, okay, okay. And when you say game sense, is that the positioning side of things, knowing what you need to be doing, or just a little bit of everything?
A little bit of everything. My ult tracking needs work. Position needs a little bit of work,
Okay,
and yeah.
okay, okay. When you say ult tracking, um, how important is your team play compared to like your ranked play?
Uh, my team play is somewhat important to me, but I enjoy ranked more. So if I don't make the team, oops. But I enjoy improving. So I think ranked play is a little bit more important to me right now.
Okay, okay, makes sense, makes sense. I think just for you, it would be with something like ult tracking that's definitely impactful for rank play, but it's obviously more of a priority for scrimmages and competitive team play. So I guess for you, it's like when we're trying to find out like what are the skills that you need to prioritize, like what are going to be the ones that are most important for what your goals are. So,
Okay.
okay, average play at least when you're not playing Destiny 2, 2 to 3 hours a day, 6 to 7 days per week. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, you hesitate, or you're thinking.
Um, at least for ranks. When I play like ranked, I'm like Diamond Masters, but I have another account in Silver where I play with my friends, which I don't really consider playing Overwatch. It's just more me having fun with my friends.
Sure. Okay. Okay. When? How often do you play that?
When I used to play, it was almost every single day for another 2 to 3 hours,
Okay.
sometimes even four.
Was it after your initial session, or was
It was
it?
it was usually after.
Okay, so once you already got your practice in, and you went on from there. Okay, that's fair. As long as you have your order of operations set out, then that's the most important thing, right? Is that you're actually like
Yeah.
giving your full amount of practice when you have the energy, and okay, as long as that's done. Okay, goals here. Short term is to make it to masters. Hopefully, GM long term. As a game dev major and a long time fan of Overwatch, I like to potentially work on Overwatch. I feel like in order for me to contribute the most, I should be a good player and have a good understanding of the game. I
Yep.
would say you to work on Overwatch to be successful working at the game. I don't think you necessarily need to be higher rank. I don't think many of the more successful developers necessarily need to. I think it can help. So, I mean, my understanding of the game, I think, has evolved more from just studying the game, period, and not necessarily playing it, and also just studying psychology and like what people actually enjoy. And I'm sure that you're aware of that, but I wouldn't necessarily use that as fuel to fire. Get high rank if you want to get high rank, you know?
Yeah, like when I meant like more understanding, I mean like studying the game and learning more about it, less of my rank.
Right. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. So making it to Masters. What do you feel Sony back from improving? I recently climbed from Silver to Masters in season 8, only playing Lucio. So you in one season you went from Silver to Masters. Okay.
Yeah, I got banned, so I made a new account, and after my placements, I placed Diamond and made it up to Masters.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So how did you get from Silver to Masters? What did you
I
do?
don't know. I just solo queued and DPS'd.
Okay. Okay. And you just DPS like just a hard Reddit Lucio.
Yeah, it's hard Reddit Lucio.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. I believe that I was carried by my mechanics. Okay. So did you develop the mechanics, or did you already have like some mechanical background before going into this?
Before the going into it, I had played Destiny, not Destiny, Overwatch 1, and I made it to Diamond then a while ago, so I had some like I had good wall riding and my aim was okay. and then the
Yeah.
climb. That was the only thing that really helped.
Gotcha. So you had some mechanical stuff, some like movement stuff, and then just kind of grinded at it. Okay. I was carried by my mechanics, and now due to the projectile changes, I'm getting shot a lot more, leading to me lose my ego and not DPS as much. Now I'm working. I would like to be a good supportive teammate, and so I'd like to understand where I should be and what I should do with them. So basically, you're hard red at Lucio. You got slapped around a little bit. You got your ego completely cut out from underneath you, and now you are kind of second guessing yourself / trying to expand your overall skill set about like how to actually play the character besides just hard red at Lucio.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. 7 hours per sleep per night on average, not bad. Could be better. Okay, I don't really have any other questions from your form. Do you have any other questions for me?
Not really.
Now, have you done your homework? Have you studied Lucio reviews or Lucio VODs or some of my Lucio sessions before? Are you coming in?
I have watched every single one of your sessions until I took a break from Overwatch.
Okay, so you come in here and you're saying, I need to understand what I need to be doing better. But you already know what I'm going to tell you.
Pretty much.
So you have an idea of what you need to be doing, but you want a second perspective of what you know and what you do. Like, what do I actually need to hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I can send you a code. I have 2. I wasn't able to get the comp game in, so they're both in quick play, but they're still like Diamond Masters, and
Okay.
I played my hardest. I have a circuit game, and I have a Route 66 game.
I want to look at Route 66 first.
Right.
Thank you. What is Lucio good at? And actually, that's the circuit rail. Hang on 1 second. What is Lucio good at? Yeah, give me the root code. That was the wrong one.
My fault.
No worries.
Lucio is good at surviving and being where he needs to be.
Sure. So when you talk about the more supportive playstyle, how do you do that?
You can help position your teammates where they should be.
Okay.
And
what if they don't want to be where you want them to be, or they should? What if they don't want to be where they should be?
You can usually those people who are stationary get struck with flankers, so try to peel the flankers off of them by cutting off.
What if the enemy team's not running flankers?
Hard DPS the backline.
All right. There's always a solution. It's going to be up to you to recognize that solution. And I think with Lucio, with most characters, it's kind of think about like you already know what you're going to do, so you just position yourself in the best spot to do that. With Lucio, it's actually finding out what you want to do first and then positioning second. So like right now, looking at the situation here, what do you want to do? Do you want to go for backline? Do you want to help your Ryan?
I'm actually waiting for the Genji, and then I see the Doom go in, and I'm just waiting for the Genji, so I don't really push that too far.
Okay.
And then yeah, here I'm late.
But you're late. You see that?
Yep.
So why were you late? What were you doing in the meantime?
I was fighting the Doom and listening to music, so I couldn't hear.
Uh-huh. Is that a normal trend, or is it just a quick play while you're searching for codes trend?
Quick play while I'm searching for codes trend.
Fair enough. I'll respect it. Okay. Now what? Now what do you do?
Push cart.
Okay.
Their tank is dead.
Okay. What's the end goal here? Where should you go? What should you do? What makes Lucio unique? Is it pushing cart?
It is not pushing cart.
Okay.
It is being mobile.
So where should you be mobile?
I want to wait for... What I would do is I'd wait for the... I think I'd wait for the Sombra to stage the Ana. And then once she hacks the Ana, I'm going to fly at her.
Okay. So she staged on Ana. So what do you do now?
I think I fight the Pharah. Do nothing.
What do you think of what you're doing right now?
Bad.
It's useful? Why?
No, it's not. I'm getting no value. I'm not even shooting the Doom. I go to heal the full health Widowmaker, and I go for a boop on a character who can jump right back up.
Is that a problem, though? You traded one ability for another, no?
Yes, but while it was the ability trade, that's I don't know. It could be good.
I think it's
It was the
okay.
decision I made.
I think it's okay what you did, but you definitely addressed the problem that you just weren't doing anything until you did that, right? And I think that's the problem, is that there's nothing wrong with what you did, but starting from here, 130, 135, 137, 138, 139, 40, 143, and 14 seconds. 14 seconds of doing nothing, right? Until you actually did something worth doing. Something to keep in mind. I'm not saying that you have to be constantly doing things at all time, but it feels like right now there's no plan at all. Like nothing.
Yeah,
There's no idea of like what I want, what I should be doing, where could be going. And like you could be saying like, hey, I'm gonna let my DPS walk forward and actively look at that Doomfist to make sure it doesn't go in. Or I'm just gonna go red at Lucio, amp speed all the way around here, hard flank with my Sombra, stage in the backline. I'm gonna speed my Roadhog from spawn. Like I don't care, you know. The problem with Lucio is not necessarily that you're not allowed to be a team player. Like you're not allowed to be a team player. Coach Spell tells you to go DPS mode. Partly true. It's more just I want you to have an idea of like what's the plan? What am I doing? Don't just exist. If you're gonna speed your tank, speed your tank. If you're gonna help the tank trade, boop the Genji in, that's great. Do your thing. This is good. But do something. Because right now, at this exact second right now, you're doing nothing. I know you're thinking, oh, I need to deal with Cart. Don't worry about Cart till this fight is won.
okay.
And how do you win the fight? Well, I don't know. I want you to name 3 things that you could do right now. 3.
I could
Some of them are bad, some of them are good. What do you think?
Okay, I could boop either one of the supports off high ground. Even
Yes.
if I go, I'll probably die.
Yep. What else?
Oh, the Ana's alone. Never mind. Yeah, I can just go up there and kill that
Sure.
Ana. And then with the high ground, try to shoot down on the Life Weaver.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe fight the Pharah, but it just doesn't seem feasible.
Okay. Give me another. That's all one thing. Give me 2 more things.
Help speed my Roadhog into position.
Sure. Speed your Roadhog on an angle. Help here. This doesn't really play to your effective range, but it's better than sitting on cart. Right? If he wants to push, you push. If he doesn't want to push, you can still spam, poke, whatever. It's better than nothing. Give me the 3rd thing.
I don't know, potentially set up to stop the Genji when he tries to go in.
Sure. You could sit on this angle here and spam the Onyx right here, anticipating the Genji to go in. Right? But have a plan. Have a plan.
Yeah.
Do something. What's the play? And so there's nothing to coach here because there is no play.
Yeah.
I don't even critique your positioning because your positioning is just, you just kind of exist, and if something happens, then you just do things.
Yeah, I'm very active, and I have a bad. I'm not good at predicting things.
Well, okay, there's a it's funny. There's a book called The Book of 5 Rings, okay? And it talks about a very important concept that is called the passive sword, but the active body. And what that means is that you are standing still, ready to react, but you're doing so with intention. You're not standing there passively. Your sword is sitting still, but your body and your brain is ready, engaged, full intensity, right? So what that might mean is, like, let's say that you are looking to hold here and peel Genji. Are you being proactive? No, you're not going out and making a play, but you are perfectly laser focused on ready to deny the enemy play. You got to see what I'm saying? It is a passive position, but an active mind.
Okay.
Proactive mind. And so for you, a lot of what Lucio is like that's Lucio personified. Sometimes you are the person taking the first initiative. But if you're not the first person being initiative, I don't want the slack coming out into your brain. I want you being, I'm going to, where is that Doom? I'm going to deny every single engage. Where is that Genji? I'm going to off angle and prevent him from taking any position that he wants to do. You're going to ruin everything. Your body might be very passive in terms of where you are, but your brain is fully active. Again, the sword might be passive, but you're ready. You're ready. And that's kind of like what I want to see from you. So if your plan is to hold, peel, and stand still, that's great. Totally fine. But where should you be? How should you do it? Where is the person that you're peeling? What's the best angle to prevent the angle from being denied, right? Don't be a passive peeler is the way to look at it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So you, like you said, never be reactive. Always either directly do the action yourself or react, expect, anticipate. Never be caught surprised. Like when the Genji flanked your Ana on the earlier, right? That's happened twice now. You're like, oh, he's there? No, you failed. When that's happened, you failed. You should expect it to happen. Get rolled. You live this.
Yeah.
You live these. That's all right. That's all right.
I live these.
It was a legitimate play. You just got smoked. Okay. Now, what is the active play here?
Okay. So right now the Doom is nanoed, so he's really gonna try to engage onto the Ana. So I should stay by the Ana and make sure that she doesn't, or try to make sure she doesn't die to the Doom.
Sword is passive, body is ready, brain is ready. You see it?
Yep.
You're ready. You see this? Now what?
Now I am in position to do nothing, and I don't have vision on my Ana to know what she's doing. But potentially I could keep going forward and try to go with the Sombra and to get the other Ana and trade backline.
So let's cut you some slack. You were ready to peel your Ana. The Doomfist used a cooldown elsewhere. No longer needed. An opportunity to strike has been given. Right? Let's keep carrying the sword analogy through. Okay? Yep. Your opponent swung and missed, or swung and did something and exposed his shoulder. Do not sit here and wait. You must strike now. Now that might mean directing your attention to help this angle instead, or like you said, that might mean going in aggressively and trading backline. I would, with Lucio, generally prefer the closest option, just because your character doesn't have a lot of range. So I'd probably here prefer you to go peel your Sombra just because it's easier. But if, like, let's say that Ana was here, I would go for the Ana instead.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
And there you go. So your job is to strike when opportunities present and strike with what is easiest. The best swordsmen don't go for these flashy things. They just take what's given. They're the best at recognizing opportunities. Now, right now, passive sword, active body, active brain. Where do you need to be? What do you need to be doing? What's the plan? Where's the play? Where do you need to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 seconds from now?
Okay. So the Genji and the Kiriko are going to want to go on top of whatever that building is called. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to want to try to be up there, but not up there where they don't have cover, but like on the little slant thing, like right to the right of the camera, so I can pop over and get them.
Yes. Passive sword, active brain. Perfect. Perfect. You could be helping your hog here as well, but yes, that I really, really like that play. That's an excellent read. Instead, we're payload.
I sit on cart with multiple people.
Right. This is not, see, this is where people get confused. Like you were like, oh, I got, the DPS Lucio beaten out of me, but this is nothing. This is worthless.
Yeah.
This is not team support Lucio. This is not team support.
Lucio.
This is nothing. This is nothing Lucio. This is inactive Lucio. This is passive sword and passive brain Lucio. Now, I appreciate, by the way, what you did here. You went over to try and help your Widow. The problem is that you are reacting to the enemy team taking proactivity instead of you predicting where they're going to be, right?
Yes.
It's like the tornado is hit. Oh no, it's time to build a storm cellar. No, it's too late. And this is why this feels so bad. It's not what you're doing is bad. It's when you're doing it. So now you're dead. Is that making sense?
It does.
Would you be down for some live coaching after this quick play game?
I would be down.
I would like to practice that mindset.
Yeah, I actually really appreciate that.
I think that would be a good way of thinking about things. Okay. I appreciate what you've been doing so far. Since you've left the spawn room, you've been engaged. I mean, this is all fine. You are doing things. You are moving around. You are trying to help. You're trying to push. You're missing a couple of shots. Your team is getting picked here and there. But I don't have any nitpicks with what you're doing. Don't worry about it. Okay. Active brain. Where do you go? Anticipate. With what you know now. Even give yourself a second while you're in spawn. Okay, look, Soldier's here. Sombra's here. What do you think?
Okay, I'm going to want to go with the Sombra and go to the Ana.
Okay, so you are no longer passive sorting. You're active. You're swinging. You're the one setting the initiative here. You're not reacting. Yes. You're not predicting. So that's good too. That's good too. I love it. Let's do it. Give me another option. Give me a passive sword option.
Okay, passive sword is because the Genji, if the Genji was alive
Yes.
and setting up where the Pharah was,
Yep. That's a good
Pharah
prediction.
is,
Yep.
I would be on the cave in sign, get ready to disrupt him
Like up here.
when, yeah, like right on top of it on
Yeah.
the right side of it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'll get
Yeah.
ready to
Yeah.
stop the Genji
You
from
ready for something
engaging on her Ana.
spicy? I love, obviously Pharah's like a kind of not a great matchup for you, but honestly, that wouldn't be bad to do even now. Like just to make sure the Pharah doesn't get an easy barrage, just to kind of bait her attention here. This is good. You're noticing what's happening is that whenever you're passive sorting, are you noticing that you're picking positions that are good for Lucio? Like high grounds, walls, stuff like that. Do you notice that?
Yes.
That's good. Think about it again in the sword analogy. When you talk about passive sword, your sword's not between your legs or behind your head or on the floor. There's a specific way to hold the sword. When you're playing Lucio, how do you hold the sword? Well, you want to be on a wall. You want to be in cover. So even when you're passive as Lucio, when we were passive as Lucio earlier, you were saying I wanted to kind of be here, right? Why? Well, because verticality, high ground, cover, short sight line, a wall to ride on, right? Do you notice that, right? So when you're a passive sword, you got to ask myself, what should my passive sword position be? That being said, we're striking first. I'm down with it. Let's do it. You can even beat here, honestly.
I think I beat right after this.
Yeah. Sure. Mid-fight beat. Maybe a little awkward in terms of the timing there, because you can't really take any action off of it, but it's not bad. We're being active here. Yes, good. Good. Nice job. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. This is the first time that you've actually had a plan, whether passive or proactive, and you win it. You did not do it play perfectly mechanically. The beat was a little awkwardly timed, and yet you won. Because it's the first time you've actually had a plan.
Yeah.
Good job. Even now, you could very clearly have a plan, right? Good. Okay. Now, I don't think they're going to touch, but like, let's say that they did. What would be your passive sword position?
I'm going to sit right above the door and wait for the
Yes.
backline to walk out and then bump them off the side.
Yes. Again, so you're reacting. You're anticipating, you're predicting, and you're reacting, but you're in a position to act the second the enemy team takes action on you. Perfect. I don't think they touch. Oh, they do touch. Oh, look at you. You were ready for it. No laziness here. So I guess here's the question here. I think I know the answer to this, but just for fun. Why are you so smart now? Why are you so proactive? The last two fights. What has changed between now and the previous few fights?
It was my first game on and I turned my brain on.
I have another prediction as well. So first point, right? Early second point. There's one thing in common with both of those. It's hard to know what to do. It's not very Lucio friendly, right? Like if you're attacking with Lucio here, it's not very Lucio friendly, right? Where do you go? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The problem is that happens often. Like there's going to be, every single hero has situations where there isn't a clear plan of like how you should strike first or how you should respond to the enemy's strike. The problem is that when that happens, people make the problem 10 times worse because instead of trying to solve the problem, they freeze. And so instead of having a bad plan because the position is bad for Lucio, but we'll make it work, you come up with nothing. So it goes from bad to worse, right?
Yeah.
This was an easy setup. So of course he did well. No surprises there. But when it's not easy, that's not you're not allowed to just turn your brain off. You have to continue to problem solve. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
Here we go. Passive sword position, active sword position. Give me a passive sword position to start as this fight evolves. Predict what's going to happen.
Passive sword is, say the Genji won that fight. I could try to go loop back around, but
Okay.
in the fight state currently, I could try to deny the Pharah, who
Sure.
I know has barrage by now.
So what position? Where should your sword position be?
You see the boxes above the. You see where the Ana symbol is, and the boxes above that. I would be on top of those, like right on those boxes.
Okay. So you're controlling this off angle, trying to harass and control the space, deny the enemy teams engage. Okay, sounds good. What would be the active sword position? Where's the active
Um,
sword play?
I would go along the left with the moving platforms and try to engage the Kiriko, force out TP, and take the high ground.
You got it. See, the problem with the passive sword position here is you are not ready to defend yourself from this position. That's why this sword position is bad. You're not in a position to defend anybody. In fact, you're not even ready for a strike, right? If this Malga runs on the point and slams and ults, you're done. You're caught. You see that?
Yeah.
You are not an active passive position. See? Even this, like you just weren't in a position or ready for it at all. They may not have anticipated that. Maybe that's a little bit of ult tracking, but I think that's your ult tracking will improve if you actually start thinking about this stuff ahead of time.
Yes.
Okay.
The big issue is if, as you said before, if I don't know what to do, I don't think, and like it stops ult tracking. I stop positioning well. I stop doing everything.
Yep. Now, the question is, what do you think of this? Would you describe this as passive sword position or active sword position?
This is passive with me going for the Junkrat, but yeah, this is pretty passive.
What do you think? What do you think of this play overall?
With the Junkrat, I think it's fine to peel him off. I don't
I
think
think
I
so
should have
too.
gone into the room with the
I agree.
Junkrat
I agree.
because it's Junkrat.
Yep.
I
I
probably
agree.
should have peeled him off and then maybe help speed the hog by standing on the high ground.
Seems good to me.
Or
Seems good to me.
yeah.
Well, seems good to me. No critiques here. And maybe with a
But
Kitsune, it's a little...
yeah.
There you go. Maybe with a Kitsune, it's a little bit scary for you to make an active play there, so instead you hold the angle. But yeah, this is good. Obviously, you know, whatever there. Now what?
I should go to the high ground with the Roadhog and the Soldier and
Yes.
deny the off angle.
Yes.
Not the off, deny the... Yeah.
Whatever. You're here. That's it.
Yep.
And we talk about what makes Lucio great is you are a very quick sword that could do multiple different things compared to other supports. If we were to put like, you know, a Zenyatta up here, a Zenyatta being able to just stand and set his feet would do way more damage than you and way more support and value. The problem is Zen might not be able to see here very easily. You can. You can move quickly. You could be wherever you need to be. So think about it this way. You are not... If we talk about you as like a duelist, right? Are you a Star Wars fan at all?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with like the different lightsaber fighting forms? Like that's like the whole like legends that they have like different fighting forms.
I know that they exist. I don't know which one is which.
I don't either. I don't either. But I know that they exist. Okay. What you are is you're a generalist, where you are able to adapt your sword fighting to whatever is needed or necessary in any given point in time. We needed peel on this off angle here. And now we need a support here. Most supports could not reposition and safely contribute on those positions at the same time. But you can. That's what makes Lucio great. Does that make sense? So that's why it's so important for you to think ahead of time, proactively and actively, what position and angle do I need to be? Because that's what makes Lucio great. With Zen, there's not near as much thinking because there's not near as many options. With Lucio, the options are triple what any other support is. So if you're not going through those options, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you see again what we're defaulting to. And you see again why we're losing this fight. The same stuff. You notice that?
Yeah.
You're a generalist. You will never be the best pocket support. You will never be the best peel support. Brig's better. Pocket support, Mercy's better. You'll never be the best flanking DPS support. Kiriko's better than that. You'll never be the best sightline support. Zenyatta's better at that. But you could be all of those things when it's demanded, when it's needed. Probably just should have beated that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's like one of those hindsight things where you're like, oh, maybe I don't need to. It's fine. You can still win this. Just beat this now, honestly, if you need to.
I beat it like in I think in the second.
Yeah, it's good beat. It still feels like you're a little gun shy. You know, you beat and you're still kind of like hovering around cart. Mate, go.
Yeah.
You have an opportunity here, and even the generalist needs to strike, right? There's an exposed shoulder, there's an exposed thigh. They're off balance, they've fallen, they've tripped, right? Like I know we're milking this analogy for all it's worth, but like seriously, like this is a huge opportunity here, and you're just standing, and now the opportunity is gone. So if you don't take the opportunity when it's available, it's not going to come back. Nice shots. Because it's actually criminal that you guys lose this fight with how many shots that you're hitting now. Like how proactive you're being now, you know, where was that? So, you know, whatever. This is just lost. Okay, let's keep going here. So, passive, active sword. What do you think? Look at the situation. Look at the positioning on the map. What are you thinking?
Okay, I need to get the Junkrat out of his hole.
Okay.
Because it's going to be annoying when he pesters the things out. But it's not. I don't have a safe way of approaching him. I could maybe jump up, but then I'm just landing in his face and he shoots me.
Yes.
So while I want him to leave, I don't think I have the tools to do so.
I agree.
Um,
So you ready for something spicy? Solve the problem. I have an idea. I want to hear what you have to say.
My idea was I was just gonna go jump over the doorway, and then try to get to the Sombra. But what's your idea for the Junkrat?
I'm not even thinking about necessarily dealing with the Junkrat directly. I think it's seeing a major problem, but the enemy team is too well guarded to protect that position. Right? You see a dangerous aspect, you can't get to it. Okay, so then where is the opponent weak? And I think the first thing that I see here is, even though it's not something that's particularly good for you, I think you go top left and you shoot Malga.
Okay.
Because there's no other real position, there's no really other point of weakness on the field.
Part of me thought about amping speed and going to the cart as fast as possible and forcing them to go back to point.
You could, if you can get out,
But
yeah. You could if you could get out, yeah.
Yeah, I trust my mechanics enough to get out.
Yeah, so that's not a bad idea either. But you're right. Like, this is something that you want to deal with, but you're gonna get off angled. Okay, so then what can you do? Well, I could sit here and harass Malga. Now this is where again you have to really trust your generalist, opportunistic playstyle, because nobody would say, what is Lucio good at? Shooting Malga. Nobody would say that. But what are we really saying here? Lucio, it's not the Lucio shooting Malga. It's Lucio getting to this position. What other support could do that? Kiriko? Maybe? That's it.
Yeah.
No other support could take this position to deny the softening and put pressure here. So that they will have to put resources in the Malga and pull the Farah's attention, and maybe somebody else can deal with the Junkrat, and maybe she backs off, he backs off, then now we can do the, and kind of like, it's like chess, right? But again, what we're really saying is that nobody could put themselves in that position, and that's what makes you good. Nobody else could be able to strike at that weakness. Even if a Nana or a Zen could poke the Malga out faster, nobody could actually get to that spot in the first place. I do like what we're doing overall. Now that the Malga's down, we can actually deal with this. So you're very passive sword, but active brain right now. This is good. Even this here is very good, right? Now what, though? Now what? Now where do we go?
I think we try to force high ground.
Yeah? What are you thinking so far? This looks pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like you're controlling space well, and then now you see the active sword. You see the opportunity, right? Damn, in fact, she sees it. Right?
Yeah.
And look at the advantage it gives you now. Okay, so now what do you do? Now you're probably going to commit here because it's you. But
I don't think I do commit.
So what
I think I stay back. I should stay and help the soldier because the Junkrat and them are going to try to push him out, and if he stays up there, you can kill them.
Now, why do you, after taking space, go back to passive sword? Why?
Because I can't use it as well as my soldier could.
Okay. But you said they're going to try and push it back. How do you know that? You just referred to
me remembering how the game works.
Obi-Wan and Anakin, Mustafar.
The high ground.
You have it. So when you have a positioning advantage, and you don't necessarily need to be active sword. The enemy is on, let's say they're on quicksand, right? That's essentially where you've put them, right? In a very disadvantageous position, you hold your sword and you anticipate them trying to get out. They're falling. If they stand down here, they will die. They must do something. Be ready for it. Right?
Right.
So this is why when you have an advantage, you could just passive sword and be like, all right, enjoy the agony that you guys are in right now. And so right now, all you do, this is passive sword. You see this? This is perfect. Get out of here. No, deny him. Now, it was obviously a little scary there, but do you see what you're doing? Do you see how valuable this is?
Yeah.
And again, what support could quickly get to the soldier there? Pocket the soldier, allow him to hold that position. Get in. What is this brawl? And okay, yeah, you scuffed it mechanically. I'm not gonna lie, but in their hubris and everything that they try to do to take this high ground, they threw every resource.
Yep.
Right? You see it?
I do.
Nice job. Nice job. You did a good job there. That was a very clean fight there at the end. It's what I would like to call a very strong, fundamental team fight. Even though the mechanics and the details were messy, you put yourself in the right positions. You had a plan. You held your space. You transitioned from diving the Ana to taking the position and then peeling and preventing. That's all peeling is. Peeling is just saying, I don't want to lose my space here. Okay, so let's do some live coaching if you're down.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
I do not. You do a really good job at articulating your points.
Okay. I try to think of new ways to do it because if you've seen all my Lucio VOD reviews,
yeah, there's a lot.
I have to come up with some new way to coach it or teach it because otherwise it just feels repetitive.
Yeah, but the sword analogy is overused, but it's enjoyable. It's getting the point across. And
okay,
yeah.
Good. I'm glad. But yeah, there's never a reason to be reactive. You should always predict or proactively act. Those are your options.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you always need to be diving with Lucio, but it does mean that you need to be thinking ahead of time, like, what am I supposed to be doing?
I should always be doing something with my brain.
Yes,
even if it's not my hands.
Correct. That's a great way of putting it. Okay, let's go. And this stuff, by the way, if you ever get into team play more, that has a huge impact on how you approach team fights, where if you have a massive positional advantage, your team generally doesn't have to take the proactivity. You could be a very passive sword position. For example, if you're on defense and you're holding choke, King's Row second, that first choke on King's Row second?
Yes.
There's no real reason for you to be proactive there on defense. You aggressively punish people walking through the choke, but you're basically passive sword, waiting for them to encroach in your space, and then you put your knee on their throat, kind of a way of looking at it, right? But if you're attacking, you do need to find some way of approaching that because being a passive sword when you have no space, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So the way I would simplify this in practice, because there's a lot of advanced, complicated theory here, is just look at the situation and ask yourself, what's my plan? What value do I want to provide? And then once you answer that question, position yourself accordingly. Most people position first and then plan afterwards. Lucio's the other way around.
Here, I need to make you louder so I can hear you over the game.
Sure. You can drag up my thing in Discord.
Yeah, I had you at 170 and now I have you at 200.
Are you ready to change that?
Going from 100 to 200% in Discord is such a joke. It's 2% louder.
Yeah. And why don't they just have it start at 50 and make it go up to 100?
Mm-hmm.
But hey.
And it is what it is. There you go. Great minds think alike. All right. What's the plan? Where do you need to go?
Okay. Now that we have Mercy, I need to fight to end really fast. So right now I need to look for it and I kill the turret, and then I can try to set up on the and get the Sojourn away.
Sure.
But first I need to live and get the turret.
You don't need to narrate. I trust you. As long as I
Awesome.
know that you're thinking, you just play. Now what?
Um,
Do you hold? Do you push?
I say hold because we're down a tank.
Okay, so where
Or
do you hold?
I'd usually hold up there, but now that the Sojourn's pushing and the tank's slow, I will do that.
Okay. Nice. What's the plan now? Don't have to narrate it, just think about it.
Heroes never die. Hit me. Over here. Them down. Check it. Enemy turret ahead. I reach next time, think twice. That's just embarrassing. Hammer down. Capturing the point.
Beautiful. Notice how that you're thinking about where you wanted to go puts you on high ground, which then saved you from the Earth Shatter.
Yeah.
It was good. Very good. Active sword, and then now passive. Or active. Good stuff.
Party time, let's go. Not so fast. Maximum power. Yeah. These vibes will heal you.
Mine's lower.
Do it fast. Check it. Enemy turret ahead. That's not right.
It's go time.
Oh, let's break it. Damn.
Nice. Now I want you to stay focused here. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
Not that.
That's okay. That's okay.
I was looking for the Kiri because I lost
Yeah.
it when he teleported.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I think it's very important in these Devolve fights to always stay focused on your plan. Be willing to adjust it, but don't just kind of start playing deathmatch, you know?
Yeah.
Because remember, what capped first point was your willingness to go retake the Sojourn on the high ground and avoid the Earth Shatter instead of just doing things.
I'm on fire.
You had a plan. Your plan was executed poorly. GG's. Right? If you have a plan and the plan doesn't work, that's okay. Like, that was feeding, but I would 10 times rather you do that than just exist on payload, right?
It's also more fun too.
It is more fun, exactly. All right, what's the plan now? Fight for high,
Let's get the
flank,
high ground
up
and
your team. Sure.
Briggs one.
I'll turn it up.
It's no recall.
Now that's more like it. Let's get
What's the plan? What's the plan?
I'm going high ground very slowly.
I want to do it.
payloads move.
I want to get this below the bridge first,
Okay.
and then once the Doom jumps up, I'm gonna go with him.
Okay.
Briggs half. Gas half.
Spotted.
Briggs half.
Catch these healing waves. Oh, you want to hear this? Look at this payload go.
So be thinking right now, 5 seconds ahead. Where do I want to be in a second? Where do I want to be in a second?
How's that for
I'm gonna go to the cast once the brig. Oh shit.
It's all right. Okay, so you're down your cast. What's the play now? Be a little cautious because you are down one.
This beat will heal you up.
You're still down a few here, so be careful. Okay, start thinking. What's the plan? Where are the enemies? Where's your teammates?
I got Tracer. He's
Still
in.
winnable.
Fine in.
Heroes never die.
Intentional.
Nice.
Yes, very intentional. Also intentional.
Thank you. Torment hamster. He's one.
Before mercy.
Nice.
Okay, what's the plan here? So your doom is low, but what's the plan? You know they're gonna try and touch.
Here, your right side.
It's go time.
Tree's more.
Oh,
Sure, that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Good stuff.
Nice.
Okay, now this is gonna be tough. There's gonna be a lot less space here, so you're gonna need to think. Where do I need to be? What's my plan? How do I provide value? My proactive sword? Passive? Active? What's the plan?
I'm behind you. We got this. You guys can't roll.
Beautiful work. Again, you see how like your ability to move allows you to be anywhere that your team needs you.
Ash is one.
Active sword.
Nice. Bastion now. Oh, Bastion, he has no form.
It's go time.
Bastion's low. Nice. Hog half. Hog has no
dude, I got finessed.
Yeah, she just freaking Michael Jackson you.
Keep it moving.
Nice job.
My game now.
Nice job. Always engage. I think there's two things to point out. One, there was a point on first point. I think it was first fight. After you broke the turret, when they rotated towards point, you felt a little lost in the sauce, like you really didn't know what to do. I think you could have angled with your Cassidy here and kind of held that angle instead of going with your Sojourn. I don't even know if you remember that fight. But regardless, I think the one critique I think I have with some of your planning is because you're thinking so hard about what I want to be doing, sometimes you're forgetting a couple members of your team are in spawn. And so it's almost getting you killed. So whenever you're taking action, your first thing is to know where are my teammates, because that might influence what you want to do. Like, oh my gosh, that guy's hard flanking, I'm gonna go help him, right? So check your teammates' positions and then go from there. But honestly, really, really good. It felt like your brain was fully engaged. You're coming up with ideas about whether I'm gonna boop or I'm gonna hold space or I'm gonna peel or I'm gonna do. It was really, really good. It was really, really well done.
Stay close. I can't hear you if you stray.
I'm sorry, the Doom had.
I love how it's just like you fall to your death, but it's like there's just like bro, it's like a 10-foot fall. It's like it's just like a little neighborhood down there. It's like this crevasse, and then there's just like this little neighborhood just like chilling down there. Wait a second.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
All right, here we go.
I believe. Okay, never mind. I don't know if I believe.
Break up the game. Catch these healing waves. I kill her up.
I see Moira, my brain turns off.
I think the problem is that you transition from having a plan to kind of just having a vague idea of like what you're going to do, but not being very clear. And then obviously, yeah, that's all right. What's the plan? What's the plan?
Lucio's half.
Enemy over here. We'll heal you up.
Area denial.
Enemy spotted.
What's the plan? What's the plan? I like that.
Enemy here.
I like that too.
Beat it up, everyone.
Now what? Still winnable here. What's the plan?
How's that for sound therapy?
It's go time.
What was that?
Nice. Good stuff. The only thing there is that you needed to off-angle to that little door in the right to your mercy. You needed to be there with your Cassidy sooner. You kind of hovered on point for a little bit.
Crank up the
Okay.
game.
There's just little lulls in your focus that
Think
are
so.
costing you. But overall, pretty good.
Area denial.
These vibes will heal you.
Heroes never die. Dodge this. Nourished. Your strength.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the plan? Where'd you go?
Gale the Mahal.
Heh. Awkward.
Yeah, maybe not into the Roadhog ult.
Maybe not in the road. You had amp as well. Son of a gun, man.
This time.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
They're moving the payload. Shut it down.
So go ahead and start thinking. Where are my teammates? Where are the enemy going to go? Where should I be? What should I do? Do you know what the mistake was there? That's what we talked
forgot
about
they could
in the
just go through
halfway.
That.
Well, that, but also you were playing too aggressively with your team in spawn.
Sure.
Oh, you'll want to hear this. I'm feeling good.
What's the plan? What's the plan? What's the plan? Don't hover.
Enemy spotted.
It's just half.
Let's get some healing bees going. There's one. I see an enemy.
Where is that? Ashen has no form.
Enemy here.
Gotta go.
So you're going to be passive or active here? You're going to hold? What's the plan?
Heroes never die.
Lucio's one.
And you thought I was rusty. Area denial.
Healing bees.
You notice that really the last fight or two, you've been mostly passive sword. Why?
I'm scared of the Moira and getting hooked.
Right, but also look at the positioning that your team has been holding. You see that? Has there
Yeah,
really
the
been
high
any
ground.
need for you to be taking active sword? Not really. In fact, it's on them to try and take it from you. So the Moira and Roadhog can push card all they like.
Back off. Accelerando. Oh,
Dodge this.
Good.
Not so fast.
shit, let's break it. Damn.
It's go time.
Again, passive sword, right? Why? Because you'd wanted to try and hold that high ground. You did not want them to take it away from you. You see that? So it's kind of hard for you to feel it, but I can tell you right now that them crossing that bridge or coming out of that choke due to your repeated boops was obnoxious. Absolutely obnoxious, right? Good stuff. Good stuff. In fact, they had to use an ultimate to get out of that choke. What's the plan?
Match this BPM.
Hello.
Nice.
We can't let them keep pushing. Stop that payload. Disrupting.
Pick it up, pick it up.
That's just one.
I can use some help.
Area denied.
Do you notice that peel on the hog? Right? What is that? That's just passive sword. You hold the position with the cast, he tries to push your cast, you kill him. That's it.
Heroes never die. Precision and control.
We're on the same wavelength. Beat it up,
Great job. Great job. No complaints from me whatsoever. In fact, the only thing that would be interesting for me to look at, honestly, would be a little bit of first point attack and first point defense. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you do that yourself.
Wait, I won!
If
Okay.
you want some homework, I would look at both the first point attack and defense and just ask myself, what was the plan? Where could I have been? And ask, what could have been done better in terms of my planning choices, if that makes sense.
Normally, I actually have one set strategy which I do on first point, which happens when I play in silver with a Reinhardt. We use a May wall and we amp speed over the roof, and that tends to work for us.
Sure. But your ability as a Lucio is your ability to flexibly adjust depending on what the enemy comp is and what your teammates do. For example, I noticed that with your comp, you were running Sojourn Mercy Cass. And in both first and second, frequently your Sojourn Mercy was on her own angle, and you needed to be helping your Cassidy more.
Okay.
That won't always be the case, but that was probably the best plan for what you were being done. So I also noticed that just the fact that the Roadhog Moira, it was going to be a lot. You had to be a lot trickier and more cautious with your active swordplay because you were going to get smoked, right? So what I would do is, again, when the session is done, if you have 5 minutes, go back and watch just the 2 minutes on the attack and 2 minutes in defense and see what you can come up with. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I
Okay.
will actually probably check that out right after this.
Great. Let's take some notes, though. What needs to be practiced? Lucio, what are some goals, things that you need to be adding to your skill set?
Fight planning, active sword,
Fight
passive
planning.
sword.
Pre-fight, ask yourself, what do I need to be doing? Proactive, peeling, passive sword, proactive, diving, active sword. Both of them, both are proactive. One is anticipating and denying. One is aggressive and killing and going in. Okay. Do the same, but practice doing this with your beats as well. We didn't talk about this as much, but your sound barrier is a tool to complement either a passive or an active sword. What you can do is the practice that you're planning to expand it to the next level is start factoring in your beat into that plan and adjust your play style accordingly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Then position. I forgot this. So
Because
fight planning, pre-fight, and so on, and then once you decide your plan, position accordingly. Go ahead.
I know it's obvious, but the game is so much easier if I think ahead.
That's all it is, right? And the funny thing is we did a little bit of teaching today, but most of it, like we said, this is why I asked you, like, have you watched my VOD reviews? And you're like, yes. So I really didn't have to teach very much, right?
Yeah.
You know how to play. You know how to play Lucio, but you don't know how to, like, you know what Lucio does, but you don't know how to play Lucio, if that makes sense. You know all the techniques and the details, but you don't know how to, like, okay, how do I actually go in a game? What you just did in that game is how you play Lucio. That's how you play Lucio.
Okay.
You were diving, peeling, harassing, booping off of high ground, booping off the map, passively holding an off angle and just shooting. You were all over the spectrum in terms of, like, the aggression, the defensiveness, the holding, because it was what the situation needed. You were there to provide it. And that's what Lucio is. And that's what makes him so hard. Okay, do you have any questions?
I do not.